Hey, good afternoon, college coaches. This is Coach Anthony Williams, founder and CEO of Connected Athletics. We are a new startup company based here in Austin, Texas. We are focused on helping student athletes successfully transition from high school to college and then into a career once their eligibility is over. We are strictly focused on making sure that these players are building their brand and connecting with other student athletes as they go through the recruiting cycle. And then most importantly, making sure they're connecting with college coaches in this very different recruiting, COVID-19 recruiting cycle that we're in. So we are connecting student athletes with coaches to make sure they get to know who they are on and off the field. We've got another exciting prospect from right here in Austin, Texas with us. I've known this young man since his middle school days. Wesley Erwin is a class of 21 athlete. He can do a lot of things on the offensive side of the ball. He's at Lake Travis High School, one of the story programs, not just here in Austin, but in the state of Texas. 5'11", 195 pounds, tremendous GPA of 4.0, and a very strong SAT score of 1290. Wesley, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm good, Coach. How are you?
Man, I'm good. Thanks for taking some time out of your day. I know you guys are getting ready for the season, but looking forward to these coaches hearing your story. You've got a great family that's been very supportive of all my efforts, and let's get to know you a lot better so these coaches get to know you. Let's jump right in. Obviously, Wesley, college coaches want to know about the importance that you put on your academics. Tell us a little bit about that importance.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I stressed in my recruiting is, and my family especially stresses it to me, is that whatever decision I make, it's the next 40 years and not the next 4. And so, ever since middle school, my parents have been on me to make straight A's and study for every test and do homework every night. And so I think it's really paid off, and it's translating now that we're applying and looking at all these different colleges for football. And we're blessed with so much more opportunities just because we have the grades to, open some of these doors.
Awesome. Hey, are there any, what are your favorite subjects there at Lake Travis High School that drive that GPA?
I have to say I'm a STEM guy, so I like the math and the science classes. I took AP Computer Science last year. That was fun too because you got to learn how to mess around with computer software and coding. But yeah, I've never been a huge art or English guy. Those are, not up my alley as far as classes go, but yeah.
Okay. Well, take this time to shout out. There's a lot of people that help make student athletes successful on and off the field, including our family. Take this time to shout out some of your favorite teachers and others who have made an impact on you possibly at Lake Travis High School.
Mm-hmm. I want to shout out my counselor who's done an amazing job for Raleigh and I both as far as navigating us through high school, what classes we should take, what teachers and people we should connect with. Belle Portillo, she's been super great to every football player she's had that's come through Lake Travis. And but yeah, shout out Coach Coates. He's always been good, and ever since a freshman year, he's kind of groomed and developed me as a player. And Coach Carter, obviously, got to give a shout out to him. He's doing great things at the program, and he's a busy man. But when he is in football, he's coaching us and he's giving us good information and scouting reports and whatnot. And so Coach Carter prepares us every week to go out and play the North Shores and the Duncanvilles of high school football. So
yeah, one of the things in being here in Austin for almost 20 years now and getting to know the Lake Travis program really well, I'm a big fan of Coach Carter and his staff because as successful as you guys are in football, the young men that come out of that program are always high character, giving back to the community. So shout out to Coach Carter and staff. You guys doing a tremendous job of not just winning football games, but building young men for the future. So shout out to him on that. I appreciate you shouting him out. Hey, Wesley, tell these coaches, they want to know about your learning style. Obviously, you make that transition from high school to college. Are you more of a verbal, visual, or hands-on learning style?
I got to say I'm much more of a visual learner. I always do better just when teachers can kind of post the lesson videos on their Schoology. And, I'm able to kind of look at, how it's done. And it's easier for me to pick up and grasp different concepts. And the same goes for watching film on Huddle. I can listen to a coach tell me to do something 1,000 times, but until I see it, like either on the practice field doing it myself or on film, it won't stick. So I have to say I'm a visual learner.
Is that both on the field and in the classroom, or you have a different learning style based on what environment you're in?
Well, playing football, I feel like I probably learn and master coverages and plays and whatnot the best if I'm actually out there doing it. So if I'm not practicing the plays or getting the reps, and it's obviously a lot harder to learn than somebody who is. So
Makes sense.
But
Okay.
classroom, definitely visual learner. So.
Gotcha. Hey, I know you're in your senior year, you and your brother. Tell these coaches, have you and your parents gotten together and decided what your major might be as you go to the next level?
I really haven't. I'm still kind of undecided as far as what I want to major in. Um, I mean, I've always kind of thought business and econ, that route is a safe route to go at any school. But just with my experience in playing football and whatnot, I've kind of thrown around the idea of being an orthopedic surgeon. And so that would be, a lot of school and a lot of years I have to commit to that, process of becoming a orthopedic. But that would be interesting to me, and my job every day would be seeing athletes who had a lot of the similar injuries and whatnot that I have. So I think that'd be
Absolutely.
cool.
I would love that because with all the surgeries I've had in football, with 2 hip replacements and about 3 or 4 shoulder surgeries and knees, yeah, I definitely know you and trust you to
Yeah.
work on my body. So yeah, let's make that happen.
So
Hey, so let's switch over to getting to know about you personally. Tell us, Wesley, what are some of your interests when you're not working out, you're not playing for Lake Travis? What do you like to do in your spare time? What are your hobbies?
I get a couple buddies, and if it's springtime, I like to go fishing. There's a couple ponds around here, and Lake Travis is and I live kind of on Lake Austin too, but so there's good fishing spots kind of all around where I live. I like playing video games too. A couple of the boys and I will get on, play some Call of Duty or Madden or whatever. But yeah, other than that, just I really don't have a whole lot of time just because of football, and I'm doing either practices or extra personal trainer workouts. But if I'm not doing that,
Okay.
yeah.
So with you video gaming, it begs the question: are you giving L's? Or are you taking L's?
Well, I'm giving L's. I get on Call of Duty and I'll drop about 30 kills, 14 deaths, and just hop off easy.
Okay.
First game on, first game off. So.
All right. Hey, Wesley, tell these coaches, obviously recruiting happens a lot through social media. Tell these coaches what social media apps they can find you on mostly. Are you a Twitter guy or Instagram or what?
I'm a big Twitter guy. Kind of got that in middle school, whatever, and figured out how to use it early. So I'd have to say I'm a Twitter guy. Twitter at Wesley_Erwin7, I think. And then I have Instagram too. Never got Facebook. I wasn't really ever a Facebook guy. And then, just Snapchat. But yeah, everything is at Wesley.Erwin. So.
What about TikTok? Are we gonna see you dancing something?
TikTok, I'm not a TikTok guy.
Okay.
I mean, every once in a while I'll hop on, but I wouldn't call myself a content creator on TikTok by any means. So that's not me. You won't find me posting on TikTok. But
all right. Hey, tell us music taste. What kind of music do you like to listen to, in either in pregame or get you hyped for workouts?
Pregame, I have to say, a lot of the guys on the team, we really like Chief Keef. Chief Keef has some good pregame music. Other than that, I like Future. I've always kind of liked Future. And then Pop Smoke recently has been kind of a big favorite. But
okay.
So yeah.
All right. Hey, tell us about your family. I know about them, but I want you to tell a story. Just give these coaches a little bit of background about your mom and dad and what they do, and then the rest of your siblings and where you are in the line. Are you youngest, oldest?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So I would say I'm like the second middle child. I'm the second youngest middle child. But anyways, so yeah, mom and dad, Julia and Grant Erwin. They had my older brother 2 years before. I'm a set of triplets actually. So it's me, Raleigh, who's my other brother, just committed to Columbia, and we have a third brother, Benjamin, who has autism. And it's actually really cool because every year we play football, Coach Carter will try to organize a game and a coin toss where we can all walk out there as team captains and do the coin toss as brothers. So last year we did it at Anderson week 10. So that was cool because KVU got to come out there and do a little news bit. And so yeah, it was like birth order was Benjamin was first, then me, I'm the middle triplet, and then Raleigh. So
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we go out there and do the coin toss.
What do they do for a living?
My dad does telecom, like sales for telecommunications. And then my mom was a lawyer. She doesn't practice anymore because she's got 4 kids and, a frat house to clean every day. So, but I'd imagine once Raleigh and I get out of the door, she'll probably start trying to get working again soon. So.
Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, I know we're trying to get out of this COVID-19 environment and get you out of virtual learning and back on the campus there, Lake Travis. When that happens, what's your shoe game looking like? Is your shoe game pretty tight or what?
My shoe game, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't have a whole lot of money right now to be dropping on shoes. But I mean, I wear the Vans, just kind of classic black Vans, black on black Vans, and then probably just Ultra Boost, and I'll swap, just switch those out, keep the rotation fresh. But yeah, I'm not a big
Okay.
Jordan guy. If I had the money, I might be a Jordan guy, but
Okay.
not rocking any Jordans.
I hear you on that. Hey, tell us, what's your favorite football movie?
Favorite football movie? I probably saw it a long time ago, and it still probably is my favorite football movie. Is The Blind Side? That's really good with Mike Lore.
Yeah.
I really like that. The Friday Night Lights movie is good too. That's a classic. But yeah, I'd probably say Blind Side.
Most of the players, and I think I've done over 100 plus interviews, most of the players pick Blindside. And I always tell them, you guys may be a little young, but one of my favorite Texas high school movies, obviously Friday Night Lights, but
Yeah.
Varsity Blues. Check that one out.
Varsity
Old
Blues,
school.
yeah. Raleigh has seen Varsity Blues. He keeps getting me to watch it, but I'll have to sit down and watch it someday. But
Hey, Wesley, I call this my dream scenario question. Let's say you have 4 great years in college and you find yourself in New York City at the NFL draft. Who all is sitting at your table also waiting for the commissioner to call your name?
I probably obviously family. That family's got to be number one. And then I'll probably try to get Coach Carter there. I think, if I fly him out to New York, I bet he'd pull up. But and then I don't know. If I got a couple girlfriends, they'd probably
A couple girlfriends. Okay, maybe we should rewind that and start from the
they'd
top.
probably want a seat at the table. So, but
Okay, good stuff. Hey, tell us one thing coaches want to know
probably
about
just I
you.
keep it family.
Okay, yeah, that's probably smart. Hey, Wesley, tell these coaches want to know what you're doing when you're not playing football and taking care of your grades. What are you doing to give back in the Lake Travis community? Are you involved in church? Are you involved in some nonprofits? What are you doing to give back?
Yeah, so Raleigh and I, we lead a wildlife group, which is basically like a small group campaigners. And that's through Young Life as an organization, but they take high schoolers to go, and we take a group of middle schoolers, and every other Sunday night we would do Bible study with them. On top of that, kind of middle school, early high school, we did a lot of mobile loaves and fishes, which they get food and take it into East Austin, food and clothes, and give it to the homeless people of East Austin. And on top of that, Raleigh and I also did FCA leadership for a while and went to a camp, and that was like freshman year. So so FCA, Mobile Loaves and Fishes, and Young Life are probably our like top 3 volunteer
That's awesome.
programs
Yeah,
that we go through.
big fan of Power FCA. They do a great job with their Young Life program. All my kids have been through it. I know that you're doing a great job with that. Hey, Wesley, what's your life going to look like when football's all over, whenever that is? What do you want your life to look like personally and professionally?
Well, I mean, hopefully I'm successful, and I got some room to kind of kick back and have a nice house and in a nice area. But I mean, I imagine if I do the orthopedic route, then I'll be doing what I love, and every day get to go see and diagnose a new injury and deal with that. But so I mean, I'd probably stay in Texas too. I don't know if I'd want to live my life anywhere else. I'd probably stay in Texas. But yeah, beach house would be cool. And, I'd probably have a ranch too. Knowing me, I need a fishing pond and a ranch, some area to be free. But yeah.
Okay. That sounds like a good goal. Hey, as we finish up here, let's switch over to recruiting now. Obviously, we got a couple offers here, but tell us a little bit about during this COVID-19 environment, what have you been doing to stay in shape for the upcoming season?
So kind of when all of everything started getting shut down, a group of us kind of started organizing workouts through our Hill Country Indoor, which is like our gym. And just a couple, small group, 4 or 5 of us on the football team. And we got a personal trainer, Matt Herring, who's been super great. And I think he used to do strength and conditioning for the Spurs. So he, knows what he's talking about. And we would go see him 3 times a week for an hour. And he'd give us workouts and conditioning and whatnot. And then in between doing those workouts, our school kind of virtual workouts that we were doing through Google Hangouts, those would take place. So it would be it would alternate as Tuesday or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we have our personal training workouts. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have our like Coach Jacobs, like Travis, Google Meet workouts. So that was, a good consistent 5-6 days of lifting a week. And so, and that kind of is what we did all summer. We didn't really travel all summer. So, because all the camps got shut down. We were going to take a trip up to the East Coast and go tour and see like Harvard and Army and Yale and a lot of these schools that were kind of recruiting Raleigh and I both. But yeah, all that. So, we just had to kind of stay home. Didn't really get to go travel and visit all these colleges that we wanted to go see. So we were able to just get a good solid 2 months of just, lifting 6 times a week. So.
Okay,
yeah.
Good stuff. Hey, as you go into your senior year, Wesley, tell these coaches, what do you consider your strengths as a player, and what are some of the things you're working on for the season?
I think my strengths are, I've kind of played just throughout my football career. I've kind of played all over the field as far as like in FBU 6th grade for the FBU Austin team. I was playing safety, and I played a lot of safety. And then kind of going into high school, I was doing running back, linebacker, and then sophomore year I got kind of bounced back over to outside linebacker. And then junior year played only running back, and now I'm made the full switch to play linebacker this year. So I think probably as far as strengths, I think just my football IQ and being able to be versatile and moved around as kind of like a utility player. That's got to be definitely a big strength of mine. Weaknesses, at this point in the game, I don't have as much like junior and sophomore film as I would have liked to for recruiting and stuff. But it's nothing you can I wouldn't say that's like a weakness because you can't really control that, but just through injuries and missed games and whatnot, I haven't been able to really showcase like what I'm capable of.
Right. Yeah, no, that's good stuff. Hey, you played Lake Travis, one of the more successful programs in the country. Tell these college coaches playing at Lake Travis, what advantage does it give you to help a coach build that same winning attitude in their program? Tell them a little bit about playing at Lake Travis and the pressures that go with it. So,
the guys that, we compete against at Lake Travis, they end up going to big-time programs. Like, I'm practicing 7-on-7 against a USC commit who's, in a year from now going to be getting reps against, college, probably 4 or 5-star DBs at USC. So I think definitely the competition and just, you can see how hungry guys are when they're getting reps and when people are calling each other out. And like when we're playing sevens and it's like a battle of, like I'm going to pick you off every play or I'm going to score on you every play. So, and I think a lot of guys, especially this year, we have a lot of kind of guys that are recruited, but also maybe feel like they're underlooked. So a lot of guys have a chip on their shoulder and are trying to prove something. So I think, Lake Travis every year has consistent talent, but I think this year we have a lot of guys who have a lot more to prove. And, this is the first group of varsity guys that haven't been able to go and win state championships. So, I think you see a lot of guys that are hungry and, at the college level, it's these guys that have been doing it and creating that atmosphere. They set the precedent for just kind of how Lake Travis football needs to be played. So,
okay. Hey, tell these coaches, what is your criteria that's going to help you select what school you'll eventually commit to? Is it distance from home? Is it obviously the major? What's important to you in that criteria?
Yeah, I think, obviously just if it's a very historically prestigious school, and it's the network and the opportunities it's going to open for me once I leave the school as far as job opportunities, that's obviously like very important. But, and then, I just want to compete at the highest level of football I can too. So, obviously I wouldn't walk on at like a D1 school that has no business, like doesn't even look my way versus, a good high academic D2, D3 or Ivy League school that, has given me the opportunity to play football for their program. So looking forward in college, definitely. I don't think distance from home really matters that much to me. Like obviously my mom might, want to come watch some of the games and not want to fly up and down the country every weekend. But, I've never really been picky. I would, about weather or, I would live anywhere if it meant having the opportunity to, play college football. So.
Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, tell us, coaches care about, how players deal with adversity. Tell these coaches about a time in your life, either personally or dealing with football, where you had to overcome some type of adversity.
Well, I mean, I think losing 2 significant games the last 2 years I played varsity against a very good North Shore team, and we were supposed to be the team that made the run, and Lake Travis is the Big Bad State champions, and then when we go get knocked off by this new program that has probably like the most talent in Texas as far as recruiting talent goes, but that I would say that was hard, and it's every year it's like these are the guys that we got to beat now. These are the guys who are sitting on top and have all the talent. Like so, I think that was adversity, and I think bouncing back, you saw Hudson Card. He didn't want to lose to him again, and he was playing on like a somewhat broken toe, and he wanted to go out there, and he left it all out there. So I think the whole team, as far as like when we lose these big games, it's we come back the next year stronger, and we it becomes the game that we need to win. So personal adversity, I just playing the game of football, everybody's had injuries, but I've had some pretty freak deals where could have happened to anyone, but it happened to happen. It had to happen to me,
Right.
So I've had well over my fair share of football related injuries, and that's always adversity, and trying to get back on the field as soon as I can. So.
Yeah, understood. Wesley, tell these coaches, do you love football? And if you do, why do you love the game of football?
I love football. I've played it since I was 5 years old, and it's like everything I've ever known, and it's everything I wanted to do with my life. And just like there's no greater feeling than working for something all spring and summer, and then going and accomplishing and succeeding with that same group of guys that put all the same effort and all the same time and all the same work in as you. I just think that's, and then you end up having some of the greatest friends of your life, because especially when you're playing like with the same guys on the same team years on end, you create a bond of just like, it's like a brotherhood almost. So I would have to say like that, creating that is probably like the number one reason I love playing football. So.
Okay. Well, real quick on the recruiting standpoint, I mean, tell us about your recruiting experience. Who have you heard from? Who would you still like to hear from? And tell us where you stand right now.
Yeah. Right now, I got a few, good, solid schools and offers under my belt. Carnegie Mellon was one of the first to come and offer me. I want to say 2 or 3 months ago. And that's a school up in Pittsburgh. It's a great academic school, great engineering school. And then my Colorado School of Mines, I actually went up for a visit. They had already offered my brother Raleigh, and we were going on like a camp tour visit. And so they were kind of looking at me because they didn't really know like to recruit me as a running back, because they already had a few running backs offered. And now that I'm flipping to the linebacker side of the ball, so they kind of wanted to see me at both running back, linebacker. And I went to their camp, and I hopped in a few routes that the receivers were running, and caught some decent passes and made some good catches. And the wide receiver coach was like, dang, like we might have to start looking at you as like a tight end. And I was like, okay. So he FaceTimes me and was like, hey, we're gonna offer you as a tight end for this class. So that was cool. And just I was like, dang, it happened like that, going to a camp. And because they if I didn't ever go to the camp, I would have never got to run routes in front of these coaches.
Right.
So I mean, it makes me think like, obviously our grade got kind of screwed with the recruiting stuff, but
yeah.
But anyway, so that was Mines. And then Tufts called me about, I want to say a week ago, and offered me to play running back, another great school up in Boston. And I got on a Zoom call with the head coach and the area recruiter, and they're great guys. And I think Tufts is a great school as far as the pre-medical route goes. So they're very prestigious as far as they're how well known they are. But
okay.
Yeah.
Wesley, tell us, you're a senior now, going into your senior year. What would Wesley now tell Wesley as a freshman as he prepared for 4 years of high school at Travis? What's the one wisdom nugget you would give yourself back as a freshman?
I would definitely say, because as a freshman, I had no idea. Like, I would say the game speed from middle and freshman football, like the jump from that to varsity, because I kind of went straight from freshman year into sophomore spring ball varsity. I mean, the game speed is completely different. Like I would go back and say, like, dude, strap it on. Like everybody's fast, everybody can hit. You're no longer the biggest, fastest, strongest dude out here. Like you got to be, listen to your coaches and be a good football player too. Because in middle school and freshman football, you could get away with the Michael Vicken and the RJ Martinez off the back foot touchdown. But so high school. I would say freshman year me probably needed to hear that the game speed on Lake Travis varsity football is completely different than anything I've ever seen. But
Wesley, you have good size and athletic ability. What other sports do you play besides football?
I just recently, up until my junior year, was running track. I did powerlifting this past year, but and then going through middle school, I played basketball all through middle school, and then once I got to be freshman year, and I was more I was decent at basketball, but I was more kind of focused. I would go like 6 months without picking up a basketball, and so kids were just like 10 times better than me by the time I got to high school. So probably basketball, track, football were my main three going into, all the way through middle school. And then I did track and football up until about last year. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Hey, as we finish up here, Wesley, tell us how do you define leadership and how do you plan on leading your team going into your senior year?
Well, I'll start by saying I think kind of naturally I was put in a position of leadership because there's no other senior linebackers. Because this past year we graduated Maui, Nick, and Tag, which were our three starting solid. Like I think they started since they were freshmen or sophomores, all of them. And so we graduated those guys, and the grades, our grade behind them, and the grades below, we didn't. No one wanted to play linebackers because those guys, had the job sealed or whatever. So I'm the oldest kind of guy that's been playing, on the Lake Travis varsity for the longest out of the linebackers. But so I kind of have to lead like our workouts and our, when we do sevens and stuff, I'm out there helping guys get the coverages and whatnot. So, but yeah, leadership to me, it probably means just like having a guy that like you would follow through pretty much anything. Like if it meant you had to do this, and to win the game, but it meant you weren't, going to get the plays you wanted or the reps you wanted, and I would listen to that guy if he was a leader. So, but yeah, so I would say I'm kind of naturally put in a position of leadership, just being a senior linebacker on our team. So,
yeah, understood. Yeah. Hey, what about your competitive nature? Tell these coaches, how competitive are you as a player?
Yeah. I just growing up, I was always kind of the tenacious one. Even in our house, I always had to win the game of knockout or the game of, Halo Reach on the Xbox or whatever, or else it drives me nuts. And I always, even in our friend group, if there's a game we're playing or whatever we were doing, I always had to be the one that won. And, just for trash talk and ego reasons, I had to be the one to just, be the best at Call of Duty or the best at knockout or, so, and I think that definitely translates to football too. Just every position and, because there's competition, especially anywhere you play, like at Lake Travis, you have guys that, want to beat you out and want to take your starting spot. And so I think I've always just kind of wanted to compete and hyper focus on, doing what I need to do to be in the position that I want to be in. So.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Hey, last question as we finish up here. Give your 30-second elevator pitch to these college coaches. Tell them why they should recruit you and what you're going to bring to their program.
I would say for me, my biggest thing that I have going for me is versatility. Like if you recruit me, I'm getting recruited right now kind of as an athlete. I, am willing to play either running back, tight end, or linebacker at the collegiate level. And if it means you giving an opportunity for me to go to your school, then, I think I owe it to you to kind of play and plug in wherever I need to plug in. But I'm also a high achiever outside of the football field. In a grade, I have 4.0 GPA. I got a 1290 on my SAT. And, at Lake Travis, it's hard because we have football practice before and after school. And, you get maybe 1-2 hours of solid homework time. So, I think if you want to make good grades, you have to sacrifice a lot of other social time and free time to, get on and play Fortnite or, go hoop at the gym or whatever. So, but yeah, versatility is probably my biggest trait.
Good stuff. Well, Wesley, I'm very proud of you. I've watched you growing up since a fifth grade little kid that was running around saying, "Coach, just put me in the game. I'll play anywhere." And I'm very proud of you and your family. Continue to work hard and be safe. And I will definitely, you'll see me on the sidelines of the game here very, very soon.
Yes, sir. I got you. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Have a great day.
Yes, sir. See you.